If you give yourself 90 days of not just scrolling and not just thinking, but actually quitting your shitty habits and locking the fuck in, I guarantee you're not going to recognize the version of you that shows up on the other side. Like, I'm telling you, your life is going to do a complete 180. No, this is not some foo-foo video telling you to wake up at 5 a.m. and drink some lemon water. So if that's the type of gentle advice you're looking for, I highly advise you to click on a different video because this ain't it. I don't even like the phrase glow up anymore because it's just so overly played out. Nowadays, a glow up has turned into an aesthetic rather than transformation. And I don't want to help you just look like your life is together, but I want to help you actually build it. And if this first chunk of the year didn't go to plan, that's cool because we still got 3 months left. So this video is your reset. I'm gonna walk you guys through my exact 3-part framework that I'm gonna use to get my mindset right, get my routines up to par, and run it up for the rest of the year. So let's lock in. So before we jump into the plan, I need you guys to hear this. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Like, nothing is going to change if your mindset doesn't shift. So let's talk about the mental reset that needs to happen first because this is the foundation and everything else is going to be built on. I saw this quote on Pinterest and I was like, ooh, this is it right here. Without a solid foundation, there is nothing holding down the fort. First things first, you need to keep in mind that Rome was not built in a day. So don't expect for all these miraculous changes to be happening overnight. Give yourself grace and understand that these things are going to take time, especially if you want to actually build long-lasting habits. On average, one habit takes about 21 days to build, so keep that in mind when you're planning these things. I like to think of it of like a house and a foundation. Side note, because I went to school for architecture, so that's just kind of how these things work. So when you're building a house, you need to make sure you have a strong foundation because at the end of the day, no matter how good the house looks, if the foundation is shitty, that shit is going to fall down and collapse. So to put this into perspective, it's more about the inner work or the aesthetics. You can do all the exterior work you want, but if you don't do the inner work, you won't feel good about it. That's why you always see some of the most beautiful, successful people just being so sad and depressed. If you continue to carry the same old bricks, you're going to keep continuing to build the same house. So now let's talk about some of the mindset shifts you need to make. So first things first, we need to get really realistic. And this means coming to terms with some of them hard truths. For starters, you are the one getting in the way of your dream life. And this is not to be like pessimistic or negative, but if you honestly really think about it, look at all the goals that you've been trying to achieve and think about how much effort you've actually been putting into them. There's probably a lot of things that you've been wishing have been going differently, but if you really think about it, have you been acting differently? You need to sit down and really think about how many times have I blocked my own blessings or got in my own way. The next thing that you need to realize is that unfortunately, nobody's coming to save you. You are the only one that can do change in your own life. Nobody is magically going to come and make everything better. That is your own responsibility. And lastly, but most importantly, nothing changes if nothing changes. Like I said earlier, if you keep carrying the same bricks, you're going to keep building the same old house. And whatever you aren't changing is what you're accepting. So some of the mindset shifts that actually help me lock in, even when I have those days where I don't feel like doing anything, is focusing on what I like and not what I want. So for example, maybe you don't want to wake up early, but then you think about how much you like feeling productive, or maybe you don't want to go to the gym or you like feeling strong after. Or even if you don't want to read, but you like how educated you feel after. It's basically, rather than focusing on the process, focusing more on the reward and the outcome. One of my other favorite quotes is stick to the plan, not your mood. This is one of my favorite ones because it really catches you lacking. Like sometimes I'll be like, oh, I'm tired, I don't feel like doing this right now. But that wasn't in the plan. And lastly, just start acting like your future self. So you can sit there and think about what would me a year from now do? What type of person am I? What type of things do I like doing? What type of things do I not like doing? And if you have to, just step into that character and that alter ego. So if your future you is somebody that wakes up at 6 a.m. and they go to the gym every day, just start doing it. You don't have to wait until tomorrow or Monday or September 1st. Just start doing it now. So now that your mindset is in check, now it's time to actually do something with it. The next part is where we start building. So now I'm going to walk you guys through the 3-part framework that I'm going to use to get my life back on track and build my dream life. Starting with reflection. Because before you could change anything, you got to know where you actually stand. So let's get into it. So first things first, you need to take some time to reflect about the present and the future. To start this off, we're going to do a life audit and we're going to get super specific. We need to get clear on who and where you are now versus who and where you want to be. So you're going to start thinking about your current habits and routines and which ones work in your favor versus hold you back. And when you're thinking about your routines, get very thorough because sometimes things become routines and you don't even realize it. So for example, if you wake up every day and the first thing you grab is your phone and you start scrolling, that's a routine. So you're going to sit down and think about everything that you did this week, and did any of this move the needle in my favor at all? So some questions to ask yourself to help you with this is, what were my wins, whether they were big or small? What held me back the most? And which habits felt good versus which ones felt forced? So for example, if you've been following your favorite influencer's 5 a.m. morning routine and you deep down know that you don't fuck with that, that is something that is forced. So to actually reflect thoroughly, we're going to do a dream life brain dump. And this is where you break down the categories and write down bullets of what you want that area in your life to look like. I'm looking at my dream life dump right now, and some of the categories that I have are career, home, family and relationships, finances, health and fitness, appearance, mental, and hobbies. So that's something to give you an idea. You don't have to copy those exactly. But the key to doing this brain dump to actually make it effective is use the present tense. You're going to write things like, I go to the gym 4 times a week. I eat a healthy breakfast every day. I have $50K in my bank account. I do Pilates 4 times a week. That way you can help manifest and script your dream life into existence. Now this right here is a bonus that really helps. Take your bullet points and put them into ChatGPT and ask it to make a day in your life story. I did this and the story I created was so vivid and like inspiring. I was like, wow, now I need to lock the fuck in so I can actually make this story a daily reality. So now that we've gotten clear on where we are, let's talk about where we're actually going. Now it's time to actually do the reset. And it's not necessarily a throw away everything and start from scratch moment. It's more so realigning with what actually will work with you. So this is where you shift your habits, your environment, and your energy so that they actually support the version of you that you're trying to become. So let's get into phase 2, the refresh. First, we're going to reset our goals. So when it comes to setting goals, you never want to pick like more than 1 to 3 major goals, because at the end of the day, once you start with the 10, 20, 30 goals, realistically you're not going to have enough time for all of them, and that's when you start feeling like shit because you only got one thing done off your vision board. So you're going to pick 1 to 3 of the biggest, most important things that you want to change by the end of this year, whether it be career, your finances, your health, etc. And then when you make these goals, you're going to make them SMART goals. So SMART means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. And you're going to want to make them SMART goals so that you can actually track them. Like, for example, if you say, I want to be more healthy, once it comes January or next year, what is there to say that you're healthier or not? You have no way to really gauge if you hit that goal or not. But if you change that goal into being, I want to go to the gym 5 times a week and lose 10 pounds, you have a way of actually measuring whether or not you hit it. It's okay to be delulu sometimes with your goals, but make sure they're actually achievable. So an example of an actual SMART goal is, I want to lose 15 pounds by January 1st. It's specific because it's not overly vague. It's measurable because you can actually get on a scale and weigh your progress and check your macros and all that stuff. It's achievable because 15 pounds in 3 months, that's only 5 pounds a month. That's very much doable. It's relevant because if you're like overweight, you're just not really happy with how you look and you want to become a little bit more fit, hey, that's relevant. And it's time bound. You're giving yourself the deadline is January 1st. Time bound part is really important because if you never give yourself a deadline, you're going to forget about it. It's never going to get done. If you say, oh, I want to lose 15 pounds, but you don't say by January 1st versus by 2 years from now, or versus like, it's giving like it's never gonna get done. But now within these major goals, you're gonna set mini goals. So these can be either quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily, whatever you think is gonna help you get to where you want to get. So to bounce off the weight loss goal, maybe your weekly goal is to meal prep every Sunday, and your daily goal is to drink a gallon of water a day. And then once you reset the goals, then you can reset the routine. So when you're assessing your routines, some things to think about are, what's draining me that I can remove? What's the small habit I can actually stick to? And how can I make my routines more enjoyable? So when assessing some of your current routines, some of the things you could think about, for example, is what's draining me that I can remove? For example, if you're following your favorite influencers 5 a.m. 20-step morning routine and you actually hate that shit and it's not fun for you to do, you can get rid of that. We can start over and make something that actually fits you. The next one is, what's a small habit I can actually stick to? What is something that you could do effortlessly every day and you know you can hit the mark every time? For me, I know something that I'm able to do every day as a habit is journaling on my favorite journaling app. I currently have like a 110-day streak or something like that. And another thing you could think about is, how can I make my routines more enjoyable? So if there's something that's kind of like, I don't really like doing this, but it has to get done, what are some things you can do to make it just more worthwhile for you? I like to habit stack. So if there's something that I don't like to do, I'll pair it with something else that I do like to do. So for example, not gonna lie, I hate flossing my teeth. I hate it, but I do it. But in order to make this more enjoyable and to get myself to sit down and do it, I'll always have a video playing. Like, I'll be watching Netflix on my phone, YouTube on my phone, something to distract me while I do it, and I get it done. And lastly, you're going to reset your environments. So obviously there's two types of environments. We have the physical and the digital. But when it comes to the physical environments, we're going to go ahead and do the deep clean of the spaces, declutter the clothes in the closets. I actually just did this and I'm probably going to have a video coming up soon if I can actually finish recording it. Anyways, clean out that car. I know you have some french fries under the seat from 3 months ago. Clean out that car. And this one nobody really talks about, but clear out your self-care products. I don't know what it is, but once my bottle is empty, if it's a cute bottle, I'm gonna keep it. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I feel like I'm probably gonna make like a product video about it, like a monthly favorites or something. But I have so many products that I either finished and I'm still holding on to, or I got a new product and the old one is still sitting there. Like, I got a new face wash and the old face wash I was using before that is still there or something. But sit down and declutter all the self-care products you're not using. Especially if you're somebody who gets a lot of free products from like collabs or brand deals. You're not using all that shit. And it's gonna go to waste. So either throw it out or give it away. And then when it comes to the digital environments, you're gonna declutter your devices. So delete all the apps, all the old photos, get rid of them old notes, them old random grocery lists and phone numbers and stuff. Get rid of the old contacts you don't talk to anymore. I literally have like maybe 25 contacts and it's all family members, my boyfriend, and one friend. Them people you ain't talked to since high school, get rid of that shit. And my favorite part is setting a new wallpaper. Something about changing the wallpaper when you're in your new era, your new season, new month, it just hits different. This is my current phone wallpaper. It is so cute. I just changed it a couple weeks ago. And this is my current laptop wallpaper. Also very cute. But as you can see, these are both spring summer vibes. So once it hits September, we gotta reset that too. And lastly, but most importantly, put those important dates in your calendar. Talking about doctor's appointments, first day of school, events, anything that you need to not forget. Okay, so now we've reflected and we did the reset. So now it's time to run it up. This right here is the execution phase. So there's going to be no more perfect plans sitting in your notes app. This is where we're going from the real planning mode to the action mode. Let's talk about how to finish the year off strong for real this time. So first, we're going to create an action plan. So within this action plan, instead of trying to work on all of your 1 to 3 goals at the same time, I would recommend that you do a monthly focus. That way everything can get the true attention that it needs and you're not trying to spread yourself too thin and jump from thing to thing. So for example, you could dedicate September to your deep work habits and October to your wellness habits and December to making more social connections or whatever it is for you. This right here is so important and so slept on. Weekly check-ins, I don't care, they are that. Every Sunday you're going to reflect on what's working and what's not. That way you can keep up with your progress and tweak anything if needed. Because if something's not working for you, why would you keep working on a dead-end habit or a dead-end goal? Because if we're being realistic, sometimes things and circumstances change, so a goal that you set a month ago might not apply to you anymore. And then you're also going to set some daily non-negotiables. These are the small habits that keep you on track. So even if you're having a day where you're like, yo, I really don't feel like doing shit, still those small habits where even if you don't do anything but that, the day wasn't a waste and you still made some type of progress. So whether this is something like 10 minutes of reading every day or daily movement, you know, getting out the bed and stretching or taking a walk down the street. And once you have all these down packed, Then we could work on your accountability systems. Accountability is super important. It's gonna get you far. My current favorite way to do this is tracking my habits. So this is either having a Notion tracker, habit apps, etc. The habit app that I'm using right now is Finch. Log on, it shows you your daily streak, which helps me stay on track because who wants to lose a streak? You see that? 109. That ain't going nowhere. I'm showing up every day. And then it has the little to-do list that you check off every day and you get points. Actually, I was thinking about creating my own version of a habit tracker. So if that's something you guys are interested in, let me know in the comments below because I can get that thing going. And yeah. Another method to stay on track and accountable is having some accountability partners and friends. So if you have, like a best friend or something, tell her like, listen, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm trying to do, and if you don't see me doing it, get on my ass. And if you don't have anybody, if you feel comfortable enough, you could share it on social media. You could do like a challenge or whatever so that your followers can hold you accountable, because one thing about social media, they gonna keep you in check. They are going to keep you in check. And like I said earlier, the weekly check-ins, that's super important too for holding yourself accountable. That way you can see where you're dropping the ball at if you are. And then we have the habits and the routines. My biggest tip for actually taking action is removing resistance. So if there's something that you need to do, but something about it is just making you not want to do it, get rid of it. You need to get rid of any friction that's going to stop you from getting to where you need to get. So for example, if you want to eat healthier but you hate cooking, start ordering meal prep if you can afford it. Or you can do the meal prep yourself every week. But it's about making those like small changes that will actually prevent you from not getting where you want to get. And we're going to leave no room for excuses. Even if you can't cook, then you can order out, but healthily. Order the meal prep. I also like habit stacking. Like I said earlier, I do that with the flossing, but habit stacking is basically pairing new habits with old. So if you have a reading goal and you kind of struggle to read or finding time to read or just actually sitting down, maybe you listen to an audiobook every morning when you do your makeup. You're already going to be doing your makeup regardless, so why not add something into there to actually move the needle in your favor? So to tie this big master plan all together, you don't need a perfect routine or a whole personality rebrand to turn things around. You just need a plan, some self-respect, and a discipline to actually show up, even when it's not giving main character energy every day. So if you commit to this plan for the next 3 months, 90 days, just reflect, reset, and run it up. I promise you, you are going to be so shocked at who you become. So if this gave you any type of clarity, drop a comment and let me know which part of this framework really hit the most. And if you're tired of forcing routines that don't really match your energy and your vibes, I made a free main character archetype quiz just for that. It's basically a self-discovery quiz and a Notion template to help you unlock your aesthetic, energy, and your daily strategy so you can stop winging it and actually move like the main character you are. The link is in the description. So go and take it, get your blueprint, and let's run it up. So if this video helped you get clearer, more motivated, or just more locked in, hit that subscribe button because I make videos for the girls like us who want to build their dream life, live a soft life, and just get paid for being ourselves. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.